Welcome back. Austin here with a Beastmaster Hunter PvP guide for Shadowlands Season 1. Today we'll be covering our Covenant, Legendaries, talents, and general playstyle tips for arena combat. Let's get started with our Covenant, Night Fae. Night Fae gives us Soul Shape and Wild Spirits. Soul Shape turns you into a spirit animal for 15 seconds and allows you to teleport 15 yards in the direction you're facing and increases your movement speed by 50%. Soul Shape may be reactivated every 5 seconds while in the form for a total of 12 seconds, making this a solid kiting tool. Casting any ability while in the form will cancel it. Wild Spirits allows you to place a large ring on the ground that deals 25% of attack power as nature damage and applies Hunter's Mark to all enemies within the area for 15 seconds. While Wild Spirits is active, each damaging ability you or your pet uses against the enemy in the area will strike up to 5 nearby enemies for 38.5% of attack power as nature damage. Saving a stun or root if talented is preferred to keep the enemy in the ring as long as possible to maximize damage. We'll be using the Soulbind Naya for her solid damage buffs with Grove Invigoration, which gives our damage and healing spells a 1% health and 25 mastery buff for 30 seconds, stacking up to 16 times. And Naya's Poison, making our interrupts put a dot for 30% of attack power as nature damage for 30 seconds when we successfully interrupt. Our potency conduits are Bloodletting, reducing Barb Shot's recharge by 1 second and increasing its damage per rank. Our next pick being Spirit Attunement, making Wild Spirits last another 3 seconds and increasing its damage per rank. For our Finesse Conduits, we'll be going with Tactical Retreat, which slows nearby enemies for 20% for 3 seconds when we disengage, and our Endurance Conduit being Resilience of the Hunter, giving us 3% reduced damage for 8 seconds when Feign Death ends, which will synergize well with one of our legendary picks. Now for our legendaries. Our competitive picks are Craven Stratagem and Soulforge Embers. Craven is a solid survivability pick by reducing the cooldown of Feign Death by 15 seconds and removes most negative effects on you, and Soulforge Embers, which allows us to light our tar traps on fire with our flare. Soulforge Embers will cause up to 5 enemies inside the trap to burn for 240% of our attack power over 12 seconds. Going Craven will synergize great with the PvP talent Survival Tactics, which we'll go over in the talent section. Both are good picks and should be used based on what is needed in the games facing Turbo, Arms Warrior and Enhancement Shaman, RMP, Rogue Mage, or a Dot Cleave, S-Priest, Unholy DK, or Lock. Using Craven will be helpful to survive the high damage output. Soulforge will be solid for most other matchups. Moving into our talents, starting at the 15 row, Animal Companion will be the best pick, giving us an extra pet that will kill command along with our main pet. Our 25 row, Scent of Blood for 2 extra charges of Barb Shot when we use Bestial Wrath. The 30 row is preference, but Camouflage will normally be the best pick, allowing you to stealth and get into a good opening position. It will also heal you while stealth, so being able to drop combat and getting re-stealth can be very beneficial. For the 35 row, you have 2 options. Thrill of the Hunt, which gives us a stacking crit buff up to 9% when we use Barb Shot, and Murder of Crows, a 15-second dot that deals 368% of attack power on a 1-minute cooldown. Thrill is the pick when you can keep consistent uptime on the enemy, and Crows is a good pick when there is a lot of kiting involved. Our 40 row, Post Haste is normally the go-to, giving us 50% movement speed for 4 seconds, and removes all movement impairing effects when we cast Disengage. Binding Shot is also an option that gives us an 8-second root on a 45-second cooldown. Damage can break this, but it can be strong for setting up Wild Spirits or line of sighting an enemy. For the 45 row, Stomp is the go-to pick, which makes our pet stomp an AoE around them when we use Barb Shot. And finally, the 50 row, Aspect of the Beast is the strongest, giving our pets a flat 20% damage buff. For our PvP talents, Survival Tactics will be a locked-in choice, making Feign Death dispel all magical effects, and reduces damage taken by 90% for 1.5 seconds. The other 2 talents will be changed based on your matchup, starting with Wild Protector, which makes our pet protect allies within 8 yards, reducing the damage taken by 10%. A go-to choice for facing Dot Cleaves is Dragon Scale Armor, making magical dots deal 20% less damage to you. A good damage CD is Dire Beast Basilisk, which summons a moving basilisk towards the target for 30 seconds that deals heavy damage. And a good choice against casters is Spider Sting, which puts a 4-second dot on the target, making their next spell cast silence them for 4 seconds. Looking at our playstyle for arenas, we want to start the matches in camouflage, allowing us to find a good position. For our burst windows, we want to have a freezing trap on either the healer or their partner, and have intimidation ready to stun the kill target in Wild Spirits, and have Bestial Wrath up. We want to have our Barb Shot on cooldown. It will also help to have Barb Shot on as many enemies as possible to have some dot damage ticking away. Our pet will be doing the majority of the damage, so using Bestial Wrath and Kill Command on cooldown every chance you get, and using Feign Death offensively is also helpful by dropping negative effects and continue to keep pressure up. The arena can be very complex and will always take practice, so get in there and play. Thanks for checking out my Beastmaster Hunter PvP guide for Shadowlands Season 1. As always, leave all questions and feedback in the comment section below, and remember to like the video if you liked it and dislike if you didn't, and let me know what to improve on in the future. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on when I post new videos, and have a great day.